Oh no, it's a really good movie. Don't get me wrong. I just kind of find it weird that I haven't like done a real deep dive into Michael's life before this. And so I'm not gonna bear the lead with you guys. This is like a very distinct video. I don't really do many of like these like film reviews or something. I'm just gonna keep my headphones in my ear so I can hear myself. But I'm not really like a film reviewer or anything like that, but I did just want to make this video because I literally went to go see the Michael movie tonight. I actually went to go see it just out of the spur of the random. I just wanted to do something like kind of cool for myself, you know, just got off of work and then I went to go see a movie. And I wanted to go see Michael because I really do want to see the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie. But I'm not able to see that yet because I want to watch the first movie before, and like give my thoughts about it and then do Michael. I don't really know what this video is actually going to be up on, but I just want to let you guys know right now because I think this is going to be a really interesting video for someone or from someone who I grew up in an era where Michael Jackson had already kind of did his thing. I'm not too sure exactly like what he was doing during like the 2000s, but I was born in the year of 2000. So around the time of that, I don't know what was going on with Michael, but Michael had already done his thing. And some people might say, well, did you grow up with Michael Jackson's music? They might ask that. And I did. I actually still did grow up with a lot of Michael Jackson's music. The only thing with me, though, is that I've never really been too much interested in like music artists, you know, athletes, celebrities, or anything like that. I've never really been too much into pop culture, celebrities, and all that stuff. And I really don't. No, like no disrespect, but for some reason my brain just wasn't wired to really want to pay attention to all that stuff. So I grew up not really knowing too much about Michael Jackson, but I did hear his music like whenever like you know my mom might have played the music. Some I went over to like a friend's house. That was very rare, but like someone would be playing like his music or something, or I'd hear it on the radio. And most of the time, yeah, I actually really liked his music. Even at the time, like when I was younger, I used to say to myself, I do not really like music. I used to literally say like I don't really like music. And then over time I understood, yeah, I did like music, but I started just liking video game music. And then I was like, oh, I actually do like normal pop culture music. It's just very specific ones. And you guys can look at like if you guys are interested in my main channel, I have a playlist called My Type of Music. And it literally has like all my music that I usually like in that playlist, and it's just a super crazy variety. It's just kind of like how my brain is wired. It's just differently, and I just have a really peculiar music taste. But again, going back to Michael, I again used to hear this music all the time, like growing up, but I wasn't really like that interested in who he was at all and all this other stuff. But I did appreciate his music more and more as time went on. I would hear like some of his music in like the Wii game, Michael Jackson, The Experience. If you guys remember that game, I would actually figure out about Michael Jackson's Moonwalker for like the Sega Genesis, thanks to like AVGN and little other things like that. And I would eventually get into more of his life. Like last year, I actually looked him up, and I was actually really interested in the story at one point. And honestly, I get it. I get why Michael Jackson is really known as literally probably like the best singer, the king of pop of like all time and all that stuff. I really do get it, like his legacy and just how amazing of a person he is. Like seriously, to this very day, I understand that like he has such a timeless class. Like he has so many timeless classics. His talent was just unmatched, and it was very like I just see like the actual crowd reactions that people like had from this guy, and I just have to like give him like praise, like just for all the things that he went through personally and for what he became of himself. And it's really just inspired me. In fact, after seeing this movie, I'm just gonna jump the gun here. I went outside and I started dancing to his music really, and I was running outside because you know that has to do some with my passions. So honestly, I was moved by Michael Jackson, and I actually just again, like I said, I'm not really a person that really is really into pop culture, but I thought it would be a good idea during like a leisurely day to go out and go see a movie about Michael Jackson. I think that should be a serious testament to how important I feel like he is and how much I personally appreciate him. Now, I'm not going to sit over here and act like I know everything about the guy or I know all of his music or whatever. But at the same time, like, hey, he made Thriller, you know, the most amazing, most sold album of all time. And I really hope to God that stays the same forever. Like, that would be crazy. So I know Michael Jackson in that sense, but I didn't grow up. So also this video comes from a person that grew up as a Gen Z person and how this really does. Now again, there are other people who are my age who probably know a lot more about Michael Jackson, maybe even listen more to his music and all this other stuff. But I still appreciate him for who he was, and he moved me. Like, really, this movie is so good. Like, I don't know how the other movies are, but if you've never seen a Michael Jackson movie before, or like an autobiography, or seen any like his interviews, I feel like this is a good insight to his life. It's not like super personal because, of course, it's like I think it's like an autobiopic or something. I don't know what they call it. It's like a movie where they tell a person's life, except with without all like the interview stuff or the personal accounts of that person who they're making the movie about, which is cool and all, because it's basically just like a recap of like what happened. It goes all the way up from like I guess when he was like born up until like the Jackson 5. I actually got to the movie late because the freaking popcorn stuff and aisle and all this stuff was actually kind of like held up. Yes, I do like getting popcorn. I only get popcorn and ices though from there, and then fill in the rest. But like, with that being said, I actually did go on ahead and I got a little bit late, so I'm not sure what it was exactly, but I do know that it covered the time from when he was in the Jackson 5 up until like 1988, I guess, when he started his bad era. And honestly, like, I felt like that was really insane because when the movie ended, I was literally like, that's it? And the movie is like 2 hours long, by the way. Like, this did not feel like 2 hours. I recently watched all three, or no, I didn't watch all three. I watched 2 Avatar movies. I watched the sequel and I watched the third one. I never watched the first one and I didn't really too much care about it. I might actually go watch the first one, but again, I don't really care. Those movies are like 3 hours long, and I felt it. I honestly did. Like a lot. Like the second Avatar was like 3 hours long, and it was slow at first, and I felt it, and it did pick up. Like, I actually do kind of think it's a good movie, I guess, but it may not really like my thing. But at the same time, Michael, it did not feel like 2 hours long. I actually do not like seeing a lot of movies. I do not watch a lot of movies because, look, I don't know, man. I don't really understand how my brain is wired. I just know I have autism and I have ADHD. Maybe I have something else, because I really do not like watching a lot of movies. And one of the problems with this is because a lot of them are just too long. I do not like 2 hour long movies. I don't like 3 hour long movies. But when they're like the Titanic or this movie, that's different. Which is funny because Avatar was also made by James Cameron, and then Titanic was made by James Cameron, and I like a movie that's made by James Cameron that's 3 hours long, which is Titanic, but then again, that's a different story. But the point is like, I really, really like this movie. This is like a great picture for someone who doesn't know too much about Michael Jackson. I heard from one of my friends, like, she wasn't going to go see it because it's like probably going to be the same story that they've told over and over again. But this is the first time I've been able to be told this story. And I feel like this might be jumping the gun, but like, I feel like even if you have seen other movies, interviews, and all this other stuff talking about Michael's life, I feel like there is merit in actually seeing this movie still, because the way that it's done, gotta give props to, I think his name is Jaafar Jackson, did a great, awesome impression of Michael. Great. the whole thing that he had going on with like his self identity was like really crazy. The fact that he literally said like his nose was like too big, and then he getting that like nose job, and then the actual like the vertigo thing, which I remember growing up, a lot of people used to like rumor and say stupid stuff like, oh, he got his skin bleached so he could be white. And then I realized later that he didn't do that. That's literally just a skin condition that people have, and he had as well, which is crazy. I realized stuff about that, and the whole headpiece injury. I didn't know about that at all. I never thought that like Michael Jackson wore like a wig at all. I never thought that, but apparently he did, because of that terrible Pepsi commercial thing. And that's crazy that that one thing got rid of a big part of his scalp for the rest of his life, which is crazy. What's really funny is what I figured out after it was that Michael was 25 years, 4 months, and 29 days old when that happened. And then he died 25 years, 4 days, 4 months, and then 29, whatever I said, days later. It was literally the exact amount. So I felt like that was crazy. That has nothing really to do with the movie. That's just something I found out afterwards. But I thought that was kind of a weird... I don't want to say a coincidence because I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. But yeah, I thought Jaafar Jackson was pretty great. And portraying what Michael was going through was really crazy. I will admit, I did actually legitimately start crying. I was really trying to hold it in, but I got really emotional because I don't know why. When Michael was like in the hospital with that one kid, and he had like the college thing on, the college vest, and the way that he was talking to him, it was just really sad because I started getting super emotional. Just seeing that kid in the hospital bed. I don't know what it was. It was like I was imagining things like, it was crazy. I really don't want to get into that in here, but I literally was like starting to cry, and I was like trying to wipe my face constantly like this, because I had like two people on the other side of me. I went alone, by the way. I didn't go with anyone else because I do a lot of things alone because I'm lonely. But yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. It got me to that point to actually, cry. I really, by the way, if there's one thing I really wanted them to do was actually, I wanted them to get into the Moonwalker. At least I wanted them to at least do like Smooth Criminal, Want to Be Starting Something. I wanted them to do, well, they did Bad, of course. They did I Want You Back. They did ABC too. There was another movie. There was another Michael Jackson song. Oh yeah, it's called like "What About Us." I love that song so much. But that's from the '90s too. They didn't really get into the '90s. Again, they stopped at like '88 for some reason. So I thought that was really crazy. I just thought that was insane. Joseph Jackson also is crazy. There was a couple of times where I feel like this movie was kind of trying to sanitize it, or maybe Joseph Jackson wasn't that bad of a guy. But Joseph Jackson, I swear, at one point, like, if this was actually real life, I literally thought like he was gonna like, spoiler alert, I thought he was gonna like slap his wife at one point, because I feel like that's what he would have did if this was like actually like the 1970s and we're dealing with people who were probably born before then and stuff like that. I don't know. I just thought that he would have done that, and they thought, yeah, that's too much. We're just not going to put that in the movie. But maybe that didn't actually happen. Who knows? They only know, and they are not going to tell us. And some of these people are not even with us anymore. But the point is that, yeah, the movie is really, really good. If you really like Michael Jackson, if you don't even know Michael Jackson, I think it's great to actually see this movie. It's a really great spectacle. I think the acting is great. Jaafar Jackson is great, which, by the way, is Michael Jackson's nephew. I feel like everything, the acting, the effects, I loved it all. Like, honestly, it was great. It just got me really thinking more and more about like myself and like what I feel like I'm destined to do. But that's for like another video. But it really does get you thinking more and more, because I think it's really cool. But I gotta say, Michael Jackson, like, if you're listening to this somehow, man, I really am inspired by you. You're a pretty awesome, amazing guy, and thank you for everything that you've done and all the amazing, timeless music. You definitely do deserve to be up there with the greats. I hope that, you know, I'll get to meet you someday and everything of the sort, because, man, whew, you were something. I don't know. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to do this video before I went to sleep. I was actually going to not record this video because it was like getting kind of too late. But I was like, nah, I have to do a video on this. I don't want to like just not have my thoughts out there. So don't know what this video is actually, what channel this is going to be on. KamyIkuzo, KamyCam, whatever. Subscribe to all my channels, like and all that stuff. Comment in the comment section if you didn't actually like this video and tell me why. With that being said, guys, what did you guys think of Michael? Would you go see it? I definitely do recommend it. If you want to go see it, I definitely would give it like a 10 out of 10. I'm really generous with my numbers, but at the same time, I don't really care. Well, if I had to give any points away, or take points away, I would probably say they should have gotten more into the movie. But like, I heard like the last part of the movie was rushed, so that might be the reason why. But anyways, with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day for watching this. And as always, Johnny.